We've all heard the statistics that say breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Our first honoree is doing her part to make sure that children that she knows and cares for are starting their day off right. Watch the screens.
If you just happen to show up at this building on a Thursday morning during the school year, you will find over 80 volunteers filling over 2,300 bags of food for children who live in the East Valley to take home for their weekend. It's called Brain Food. Why brain food, you ask? Dr. Michael Cowan, superintendent of the Mesa School District and an Arizona Brain Food Board member, explains the meaning behind the name.
That's essential for these children to be able to be successful in school. They have to have a sound and well-balanced meal. So that support that they bridge across the weekend serves a great service to many, many students in our community.
Arizona Brain Food got its start when a busy housewife and mother of 4 discovered there were hungry children in her hometown of Mesa. This is her story.
Years ago, before Brain Food had started, I found myself with some time on my hands, and so I ran to the mall. And when I got to the mall, I sat down just on a bench that I found in the middle of the mall, and I had a talk with myself. I thought, what am I doing at the mall? Just because I have some extra time, there's nothing that I need or want here at the mall, but I just had some time, and so that's what I did. And I'm a mother of 4, and so time is precious, and so I made it my prayer to find out when I had time, after I had taken care of my faith and family, when I had extra time, what should I do with it? What would be important? That's what I would spend my time on. And it was just right after that I got the information that there were hungry kids in Mesa. So we just started off, and we just thought we're going to feed as many as we can. Just as we get the funds, as we collect money, we'll feed them as we can. And it has just snowballed into this now, 5 years later, feeding almost 2,200 children every weekend in every school in Mesa. Plus we have schools in Fountain Hills, Gilbert, Tempe, and Chandler, and about 75 schools. So it has really snowballed, and hopefully we can continue to help whatever or whoever we find that needs it.
As is the case with any successful organization, volunteerism is a necessity. But what makes this organization so unique is that everybody involved with Arizona Brain Food is a volunteer.
Everything's volunteer, everybody. Gas, automobile, times, people who, the president of it, no one's paid. There are no paid positions. It's all out of love for what we do.
I've been doing this since the beginning, so for many years now, because Ruth, the director and the beginner, the founder, is my sister. Brian?
And I've been doing this for a year, and started off hustling boxes and breaking them down, and then became a driver, and so...
We moved him up.
Yeah, so I'm moving up the volunteer chain here.
There are so many beautiful stories as a result of this wonderful service to hungry children. Lori Scott and Ellen Barringer, 2 elementary school specialists, give us a brief insight.
A first grader that had a worksheet, and the worksheet is about what's your favorite day. And at the bottom it says, finish this sentence about your favorite day. It says, I like Friday because food day.
We have a little girl in a classroom. She's a special ed little girl who doesn't speak, and they didn't have an aide in the classroom to come up and get the food. The child can't leave the classroom alone. I took the bag to the classroom, and the little girl's first words were, "Thank you for my food." And the teacher started crying. I started crying, and it was just it was a really great day.
It doesn't matter where you live. You can live in the tallest mountain in the highest castle. But whatever's going on outside will eventually affect you. Your community is only as good as you make it. So you can do nothing and reap those consequences. Or we can feed our kids and educate our kids and reap the benefits for that. It's really up to us on how we all live together.
Ladies and gentlemen, what an honor it is for me to introduce you to Ruth Collins of Arizona Brain Food.
Okay. When I was a teenager, my father sat me down and told me the story of a man named Jean Valjean. I remember my father getting emotional as he told me the part when Jean Valjean had just been released from prison and after a long voyage desperately sought food and clothing, but nobody would open their door to him. After a long while, he landed on the doorstep of a bishop, a man of faith, who not only opened his door, but invited him in. Jean Valjean was so astonished that he said to the bishop, "Why are you inviting me in when you don't even know my name?" And the bishop then extended his hand to him and said, "But I do know your name. Your name is my brother." My father then explained to me that there might be times in my life when I would be the one in need of help. And then he made me promise him that I would always be willing and ready to extend a hand and call a stranger my brother. I am reminded as I work on Brain Food that whatever I give comes back to me tenfold and maybe even 100-fold. You can never get ahead of it. I have a bunch of tables full of volunteers here that I thank from the bottom of my heart. I have grown to love and respect these people, and like the video said, we are complete volunteers. They are the heart of Brain Food. To the Arizona Interfaith movement, I thank you for this honor, and I honor you back, and thank you for reminding us all that we are more alike than we are different. Thank you.
Ruth Collins.